Right, guys. At Meadowlands today, we got nearly 2 hours before we start. I'm already all set up. It's pissing down with rain, so I'm just sat in the dry for a minute. I just thought I'd do a quick video. Let me just pull my seat back, get comfy. Um, just going on from yesterday. I know I did the little run through of my peg and everything at Floatfish. Just let you know how the match went, and didn't fish how I expected it to, in all honesty. Started short with pellets on a top 5, like I said. You're not feeding a lot before I fed anywhere else, and normally you get a few proper bites. There's hardly any bait in the water, but I had a few foul lookers on it, lost 2 or 3. Did eventually catch 2 decent carp, a couple of stockies, a pound or so, and a bream about £3. This is the first sort of 20 minutes, and then it's died. But yeah, there was already signs that the fish were up in the water. So that's £15 the first 20 minutes. So still a really nice start, settled you into your match. So I sat that off, picked up some hemp on it, and started throwing meat there for later on. Gone fishing pellets shallow at 14 metres, loads of fish moving around. Started on the 2 foot deep rig. And there was odd indications, but just not proper bites, just fish cruising about, not in your feed. Did have one about £3 or £4 on it. But it wasn't right feeding pellets, so I've picked the foot deep rig up, just put an 8mm pellet on this time instead of the little 6mm red. Just cut out the feed, just started slapping. I've caught another one straight away, but then no more signs, so I've then started to feed but fish a foot deep. It just wasn't good. I've caught 2 or 3 in the first hour and a half. I've dobbed one big one about £16. I saw swimming by that was a bit slower than a lot of them that were bombing about. Slapped in front of it and had him. But yeah, it just wasn't good, and just kept persevering with it. No one up our end was catching, and well, no one in our half of the lake was catching. They were all catching a few more down in the wind, like I'd thought. So I've started priming the bomb, like the feeder. Started feeding that heavy. I've gone on it a couple of times during the day, just no bites, and in the end, the last 2.5 hours, I did just sack it off. Peg 8 was fishing the feeder. He wasn't catching, and if he wasn't catching, I was never going to catch, because that's the best peg for the feeder on there. I've started after 2.5 hours. The wind dropped and it was flat calm, which, as you know, never any good at floatfish, as I've told you before. So my casters I've got for the edge, I've started pinging them. I've come back to section 13 metres, so it was nice and tight. Just seeing if that was any better, and there was an odd bite on it, and they were decent fish, but it just tailed off, and it was no good after 3 hours. No bites on it. Had a look on my meat line, and I've had 6 carp on it, but they were all like £2 to £4. They weren't the big ones. So sort of 3.5 hours in, the 6-hour matches, I'd got £70 on the clicker. It was a good £70-80. I was doing all right, but I just couldn't get any more bites. The caster didn't work. I felt that was going to be the best way. I've gone an hour without actually putting a fish in the net, prattling around with the bomb and all different things. So I've just got my head down on the caster, just foot deep with a 6mm red pellet on. There were loads of rods swirling around, but caster would have probably been better on the hook if it wasn't for them, but I knew I was just going to get bitted out. So I've just persevered with it. I always thought that was going to be my best way. I've fed the edge. Did have a couple come in there with about half hour to go, but I had a quick look on it and didn't catch, and by then, as you'll hear in a minute, like 90 minutes to go, the caster shallow. Started to see an odd one, like carp. The ones that are cruising around, they're always fish there, just not feeding, couldn't mug them or anything. And then I started to see an odd one go up, like you could see their tail going down where they're eating, gorging in the casters, which is exactly what you want. And the last 90 minutes has been really, really good. Caught loads of, well, not loads, but you always felt you were going to catch one. Good stamp fish, anything from £5 to £15. So you were soon putting a weight together. I had little runs where you get 2 or 3 really quickly, and then you'd wait 20 minutes for another fish, but you always felt you were going to get one. And come the way in, I've had £185. and won the match. So lovely day. Bad area. £60 was second in our section. Defaulted to section behind me. There was a 173 and a 169 down in the wind where I fancied, two pegs next to each other, 27 and 29. So yeah, great day. Really enjoyed it in the end. It was tough going. Glad I changed to casters because it's definitely caught me some more fish. And we're on to Medlands today. I've drawn Lambsdown 26, just up from where I was in the Golden Reel. It's fishing a lot better now. The fish have spread out. 26 is on the point, 26 and 7 on the point. I'm the first peg of my section going round into the sort of narrower bit. 26 and 27, from everyone I've spoke to, we should be first and second in the section. Got Wayne Sharman, the match organiser, on 27, so who knows the venue very well. So it's just gonna, well, never take anything for granted, but I think it's going to be a battle with him for the section. There's loads of carp moving around in front of me. I've just set up, well, similar to yesterday, I've set up an edge rig. It's every peg going around my right, but I've got a spare peg this side. Plums up lovely. It's 18 inches against 25's platform legs, so I'm going to feed that heavy with micros and corn. And it's going to be hard pellets short. I've set up a rig for a top 6. It's about 5 foot. It's lovely depth. And then one for a top 5 where it's 4 foot. Just for like yesterday, just for coming back, I've set up a rig for, let's just meat rig from yesterday. I've just put a different hook length on it, 0.16 and a slightly lighter hook with a match kit and 12 to 14 slick for fishing meat if I need to catch skimmers, but I'm not expecting to. I'm not even going to get any meat out to start with. I've got to catch carp. Then I've set me 2 shallow rigs up from yesterday, me foot and me 2 foot. There's a lot of carp moving around on the pole line at the moment, so I think I'm going to go out slapping. Start at 14 metres and then go to 16. Wayne doesn't like doing that. He's a brilliant angler, but he sticks to what he does. He says himself he doesn't like shallow fishing. So hopefully I'm going to have that to myself. And yeah, I do really fancy it. And then it's just going to be moving out onto the bomb and the waggler. There's a lot of fish out in the lake. Just nice, comfortable, like 25 metres. Hopefully go through the motions on that. I'll get another little report done when I get home tonight. I think this is the way to go with the videos from now on, because you always have loads of time once set up, so it can keep you up to date a bit quicker, and it's definitely the way to go. Little thing I will say about yesterday, had the foot deep rig with the 3 foot of line above it, and I was missing some bites. I think some of them were from like the rudd. So I've cut the rig down. You've got to have 12 inches above your float. So I had 12 inches of line, and it was rubbish. You don't get a bite on it, which just goes to show you that longer line. I've set a longer line back up, and it was far superior. So just goes to show you, even when there's lots of fish in your peg and they are feeding on the casters, they just don't want the pole near them at times. So bear that in mind. Right, hopefully we have a good day. The rain's due to stop in the next half hour or so, and then I'm going to go for a wander. So if you're out, have a great weekend, catch lots of fish, and I will speak to you after the match. Cheers, guys.